The emotion mapping tool was originated by teaching artist Kirsten Kammermeyer in collaboration with the classroom teachers at PS 229Q. Kirsten went on to become a theater arts specialist at a public school in Queens, where she continued to use emotion mapping with her K-2 students. The teachers at PS 229Q continued this work as well with the support of Bridges curriculum specialist Erin Orr. Erin and Kristen got together to chat about why and how they use physical and vocal expression in emotion mapping.
So Kirsten,
yes,
when you were coming up with this chart, with this structure, and also with the activities to do with the chart, why did you decide to include a physical vocal element? Why couldn't it just be a conversation?
Oh, because the attention span, bless them, of our sweet kids, I think language in general, especially the younger you get, it's just so hard and complicated, and it's so natural for them to want to take something and express it out
and do it,
and why fight it, right? so they naturally, when you start talking about it, they will naturally want to just put it in their body, fear. they just do it. So to be able to give them an opportunity to act it out is just what they naturally want to do. And it also, I feel like it solidifies their understanding of the word. And, you know, especially for those kids and for those kids who are the ELLs who just don't know, it gives them the opportunity to look. And even if people are doing completely different things, not completely, you still have
still expressive of the same emotion.
Exactly. Yeah. And then I think that allows for them to work up their brave, you know.
That's how I would recommend doing it with early childhood. You have the word, you embody the word, you say the word, they copy it back to you, they say the word. You might point out a few different interpretations, but everybody's doing it together. If you have no idea what that word is, you can kind of hide in the crowd for a little bit and just learn by seeing others. In my second grade classes this last year, we actually passed it around the circle, which I thought was something that you had told me to do, but maybe not
physically, or like the embodiment of
the
it.
Embodiment.
Okay.
So if we were in a class and I was the teacher and you were the student standing right next to me, I would be amazed, and then you would pass it to the next person, and it would be passed all the way around the circle. And in second grade, it worked really, really well because the kids, well, for one thing, we were already doing a lot of passing physicalization around the circle in that class, so they had like good skills around watching each other and describing each other. But they got to actually see how different people interpreted the word.
Because you can be amazed and have a different perspective on it.
A different perspective on it.
Yeah.
And if you didn't know what the word was, you could just do your best to parrot what the teacher did or what the person right next to you did. Mm-hmm. But if you know a little something about being amazed and you have your own way of putting it out there, you could, and everyone could learn from you. Right. And I'm going to tell the story again because it's a great story. But in Miss Longo's class, she started off the word amazed, and she did it with a lot of happiness. And a lot of the kids copied her very happy, amazed. But a few kids in that class, they weren't so happy. They were just, huge eyes, huge mouth. They were, they really got that aspect of being amazed in there. And then afterward, when we were trying to, before we even placed it, we were describing the different choices that we saw. And some kids noticed that some kids did what Miss Longo did, and some kids did this other thing where their eyes were really big and their mouth was really big. And that sort of sparked this conversation with those kids, like, why did you do that? And they got to say, well, I thought that if you're amazed, you're more surprised than happy, or you might be amazed by something that you're not even happy about. Right. So they had a more nuanced. I think Miss Longo understands that about amazed, but she, she's not an actress, and she made that choice that was very, very happy in that moment. And her kids actually kind of made a better choice, and she got to use the talents of her class to help everybody understand the word better. And it's another example of, it's not about you as the teacher or any one person in the class knowing exactly how to act out a maze or exactly where it goes on the chart. It's about the conversations that can be had between people who have different ideas or different levels of nuance or different expressive abilities. You have to make sure that they say the word while they're acting it out and they don't just scream instead of saying infuriated. You know, they have to
get that in their mouth. They got to,
you know, the first few times they're just going to scream or cry, and then once you're like, if you're strict enough with it, they will start remembering, because part of it is learning the word and learning how like vocal expression goes beyond making grunting noises. You know, it's a part of communication too. Like how you say a sentence communicates something about how you feel and what you mean by it.